I'm from Mississippi, you live in Colorado right now. Think about the difference in like just cost of living.
Correct. Primary resident alone, right?
Yes. Not even like groceries and like childcare and things like that.
Yeah.
Or I had a guest with no children and I have 5.
Yeah.
Think about the difference in our grocery bill.
Correct.
So the enough for each of those categories is going to be a significantly different number.
Right. And enough also in pertaining to what your childhood, like what you were used to. So as someone who grew up poor, enough to me is always on the lower end. Like I'm always like, okay, if I see someone making $200,000 a year and spending $200,000, I don't even know what you could spend it on, right? Because I don't have this idea of what that life would even look like. So there's no material vision for me in regards to that. But for me, I'm like, oh, I know what 45,000 looks like. I know what 80,000 looks like. I might now I 100% know what 120,000 a year spend looks like. But enough changes for all of us throughout our life with what comes up, as in like enough when I was 22 will not sustain me enough at 36, at 45, at 55, I might start not needing as much, right? So how do you find an enough that can actually take you through all the years as well and all those changes, 5 kids, 2 kids, 3 kids, whatever it might be for your own life, yeah. So again, we normally think of it as a number. I need a number of units making a certain amount of money, and then I have enough. But in my experience, especially where I live in the financial independence, retire early world, the numbers actually mean nothing to people when they've achieved it because A, the goalposts move, or their mindset has never wrapped around the idea of what emotionally is enough, what actually makes me secure. We think it's a number, but it isn't.
Well, some of it's also pride, right?
Yeah.
Because I'm sure you've been to enough conferences at this point. When you go to some of these bigger conferences, it sounds terrible, but especially the ones that are like 98% men, they have like a badge that's like, I have 300 units and I blah, 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 blah. And like, it has nothing to do with the whole reason we started investing to begin with. Mm-hmm. It's more of like I don't know if it's pride or a bragging right or a whatever.
It's an identity.
It's an identity.
Correct.
It truly is.
Yep.
And then, because when I first started investing, actually when I first bought an RV park, I had no idea I was investing. I didn't know enough to know. But as I started learning to build my portfolio and getting more, knowledgeable with finance, I quickly realized I didn't want to give up what it took to get to those $100 million portfolio, having a fund or a syndication. And there's nothing wrong with if that is your goal.
Yeah.
But I knew personally, I didn't want to give up in my life what it took to get to something like that. It didn't mean that to me.
Right, and what you're talking about is maybe relationships and family.
Exactly.
Or like a part
Flexibility.
of yourself. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
The ability to not have to answer to somebody, right? Those kinds of things. I don't want to do that anymore. It's the whole reason I started investing.
Yes.
And so when you decide to grow and scale in that, you have to give some of those things up.
100%. Yes, exactly. And so that's actually what my talk is here at this conference is it's going into what is it that drove you to get to where you are? So for me, I can use the example of productivity. I am a super productive person. If I see an opportunity, I want to say yes to that opportunity. I want to go for it. I want to keep my schedule full. And I started reflecting on that in the past year because I've seen some other people who've been hitting their numbers. They're done. They're more than done, but they can't stop. And they can't stop in the bad way, where I started realizing they're hurting people around them, their children, their wives, their friends, and they still can't stop even though there's externalities, right? Like there's someone getting hurt.
It's something you can be addicted to, right?
And that's
the high of the next deal.
Yeah.
And it's also people, when we're at conferences or we're talking to our friends who are in this, oh, what project are you working on now? What are you buying next?
Yeah.
What's next for you?
Yep.
We are in a culture for this industry that makes you feel like there always has to be something next.
Yep.
I also feel like people don't recognize that we're not always comparing apples to apples.
Yes.
Because when I first started, and it's a little more clear now, but when I first started paying attention to social media, I'm like, how are these people closing on a deal every week? Well, they're flippers, they're wholesalers, they have a bunch of investors. If you buy things on your own, you aren't going to buy something every week.
No.
You probably aren't going to buy something every month.
Right.
If you buy 2 or 3 a year, you're doing a great job.
Yeah.
Above
Or
and beyond.
one.
Yeah, or one, depending
Yeah.
on... Which is another relative thing, right? If I'm buying houses in Mississippi and you're buying them in Colorado,
Correct.
that is not apples to apples.
No.
And so I feel like those things aren't talked about enough.
Agreed.
And we get back to that when is enough enough?
Yeah, and I just to riff off of your point there, which is when you come to conferences, the reason why I actually chose this specific topic for this specific conference, like I had time to mull it over of what I wanted to talk about. I was given the option to choose, and I thought, when I come to places like this, it's not even just, are you doing 2 or 3 deals? It's like, oh, you're in single family homes? Like, that's not, like, go to storage units. You're in storage units? Like, why aren't you in hotels? Oh, you're in hotels, why are you doing long-term rentals but not short-term rentals? Like, it's just, there's always, like, that needle is moving of what is the cool thing to be doing, what's the acceptable thing to be doing, what is, like, what's next, right?
Or what's sexy.
That's
gotta
exactly
be, like,
it,
cool
yeah.
to talk about.
And for me, again, I want everyone just to step back, like, just take a deep breath and be like, well, where am I in relation to my maybe original goals, or how do I reset new goals that actually are in alignment with where my life is today? Because I now have 2 children. I started with 0 children, with a partner that I'm now exed from. Like, you know, I bought my first house with him, and then we broke up. I bought him out. I bought a second place. I have a husband.
We could go down a whole, like, lessons you learned.
Oh
during
God,
that,
yeah,
right?
yeah. We did it really well, so I actually have some really good lessons learned on that one. But like,
That should be an additional session.
Yeah, yeah. I tell everyone that story.
I meet so many people that buy deals with someone they're not married to, and they're young enough that they're like not married because they just don't believe in marriage.
Right.
It's just like, I'm like,
No.
are you sure that's
I'm like, and I was that person. The answer is don't do it.
okay? But you were a version of how it worked out well, because it doesn't normally.
No, it doesn't. And it's because we put a lot of stuff in place beforehand. Like, we had some really important conversations, and that's just who I am. Is like, let's have the expectations and conversations up front. So, and we were good to each other in the end, so it was great. But what I was gonna say there was, me having 2 kids. I have a stay-at-home husband now. We support my father. Life changes and ebbs and flows, and it's very different for me. I can't do deals right now. I don't have the capacity to even do it. So I'm coming here, and they're like, who's going to get a deal this year? And I don't raise my hand because I'm not interested, right?
I want to.
Yeah, I don't want to, and I'm okay right now.
I didn't even want to listen to that talk.
Right.
They lost me when they're like, who's interested in sports? I'm like, I should leave.
I think, do we all read the book Lean In? I don't know.
Yeah, I'm like, are we in the wrong session?
Yes, exactly. Right, and so that's me too, where I'm like, okay, I'm actually here to impart the idea of slowing down, right? And
have you read the book, The Ruthless Elimination of Hurry?
No.
It's so freaking good.
Okay, is it? Yeah.
It does have a religious base.
Okay.
However, the premise of the whole book is amazing.
Okay. Yeah, I'll add it to my list.
You should. It's
yes.
great.
Okay, I'm like, okay, I'll put that down and I'll ask you afterwards so I can put it in my actual list of things to do when I find my next books.